DDoS attack tutorial. What does DDoS stands for? DDoS stands for Distributed Denial of Service Attack. Now, what is DDoS? DDoS can be considered as an army of bots. Now, army of bots means a lot of bots working for some of the master programs. Now, what are bots? Bots are autonomous programs that are installed in network and that can serve your request. Just like in client server architecture, the bots are the programs that serve your request. DDoS uses client server technology to multiply the effectiveness of denial of service. So DDoS is using the client server technology to multiply the effectiveness. Means, let's suppose we are getting a lot of service into our web server. Okay, sometimes our web server doesn't respond in a speedy manner and the request takes a lot of time. So the DDoS works into the same concept that just pile up too many requests onto the server so that it says that I cannot serve so many requests. It becomes denial of service. Means it will say that I deny that I cannot service so many requests. So hackers use this technology of client server technology to take advantage of this clogging of the networks, and in this manner the networks of the server gets clogged and they say that we cannot service too many requests. So to develop the DDoS attack, hackers develop special malwares and spread into many websites. So malware are kind of the softwares that act as a bot. So we will see into the upcoming slide that how DDoS attack really happen. An average duration of DDoS attack is of 24 hours duration. Means the hacker or an attacker will keep on bombarding the server with lot of many requests, and it will be of at least 24 hours, so that in the whole day the server remains crashed and it cannot serve the request, so that all of the users who are visiting that website will get an impression that this website is down. These are generally done to cause the business loss to some of the companies. So how does DDoS attack happens? So this diagram states that what is a DDoS attack. In this picture we can see that there is an attacker who is working on his machine. He has a dedicated internet and he's searching for the websites that are vulnerable on which the malware can be easily installed. So if we visit some of the websites, you must have noticed that there are some websites that are very much prone and can be easily hacked, and we can install some of the malwares on that machine, so that many of them users visit those websites and install some of the software, songs, or some of the material from the internet. So they do not get to know that they are installing some of the malware in their machines. So all the users who are accessing these websites get malware installed into their machines. Now malware is a kind of program that will create a tunnel of communication between an attacker and these slaves. So all the users who have installed the malware that was injected by the attacker into the website will become the slave. So the attacker will totally controlling these machines. Ultimately, attacker wants to target a web server. So what he will do, he will say all the slaves just target my machine, okay, and crash this machine by piling so many requests. So that will become a denial of service. Just imagine a scenario that you have thousands of slaves working for you, that is an army of bots, what we say. So all these 1,000 users will be attacking the same target server. Ultimately, the target server will say that I cannot serve too many requests, and it will get down or it will get crash. And so all of the users who are wanting to visit this website will get the response that this server is down, because these machines who have created a bot of the networks are totally piling up the request to this target server. So this is the whole concept of DDoS attack, and it is a very serious attack, and there are major companies that has been affected in the history by the DDoS attack. And this attack is getting very serious in the industry. So let's see further. So using client server technology, the master program can initiate hundreds or even thousands of agent programs within a second. As we have seen that in the previous diagram, that master or attacker program can initiate a lot of thousands of requests by using his slaves within the seconds. So what is the aim of DDoS? So simple, the aim of DDoS is to clog the victim's network so that it will not be able to pass any more requests, and it will be totally in control of an attacker. So by using large number of compromised hosts to send useless junk packets to clog or jam a victim network or its internet connection, or both. So the whole idea is to clog the victim's network so that it cannot even browse the website, or it cannot even listen up the request upcoming from the genuine user. So all the slaves will totally be bombarding the request to the target server. So what is the strategy behind DDoS attacks? It works by flooding the websites with more traffic than they can equip to handle, around 10 to 11 gigabits per second. So these are very good stats. Generally, it happens that there are so many, the strength of the army bots is so much huge that all the network gets bombarded, and it's generally is about 10 to 11 gigabits per second. Now you can just imagine that a server handling so many requests per second will totally get confused at which request to pass and which request to deny. So that is the reason it says denial of service. Means it has reached to the threshold, it has reached to the stress level where it says that I cannot pass so many requests. So it's simply the concept of flooding the websites with more the traffic that they can handle. Now, DDoS threat is getting very much serious. Why it is getting serious? DDoS has become a serious threat because of the easy availability of a number of user-friendly attack tools. It's true that there are a lot of tools available online that you can easily install, and you can create your own bots, an army of bots. Okay, so DDoS attacks are continuously increasing in volume as the internet continues to grow with more and more people, and thus providing a bigger pool of unprotected computers that hackers can easily hijack and use them in making botnets. As we know that the whole concept of DDoS is just to take control of lot of users entering into the internet connection to the vulnerable websites. So we know that day by day the traffic on internet is increasing, and ultimate idea of DDoS is to get the traffic from these vulnerable websites so that you can easily hack the machines and you can easily create your botnets. So it always becomes serious because the victim who has been affected by the DDoS doesn't know that how he has to solve this issue, what is the security threat is all about, because most of the antivirus and malware programs are not able to even solve the issues of DDoS. So there are a lot of effects and attacks has been reported in the history. Some of them major ones are like GitHub, one of the major websites, has also affected in March 2015 that suffered a DDoS attack deemed the largest in the website history and believed to be originated from the China. So it is one of the latest attack that happened in March 2015, and GitHub was down for some time because of the DDoS attack. It said that I cannot pass so many requests coming from the China. In February 2000, some of the major unpopular websites like Yahoo, eBay, and Amazon.com were always affected by the DDoS attack. Now, what are the solutions to the DDoS problem? So there are certain solutions and certain planning that can be done to mitigate the effect of DDoS attack. So these are attack prevention and preemption. That is, before the attack happens, you should have the strategy to prevent the attack. And the second one is during the attack. So while you have got to know that your server is under DDoS attack, you should be able to attack the detection and filtering of all the packets that is coming from the slaves. And the third point is attack source traceback and identification, that is during and after the attack. So talking about the first point of attack prevention and preemption, that is before the attack. So this involves monitoring the network traffic for known attack messages sent between attackers and masters. So for this, the best option is to employ cyber informatics and cyber spies to interpret attack plans. So they develop a cyber informatics and they develop a kind of plans that can analyze, that can help them in monitoring the network traffic for known attack messages sent between attacks and masters. So they will simple monitor the traffics and filter the data accordingly. So attack source traceback and identification. So IP traceback, this strategy involves identifying actual source of packet without relying too much on the source information. So this strategy is a very good one, that we will trace back the data that is coming from the various sources. So we will identify the actual source of the packet without relying too much source on the source information. Generally, routers maintain the information about the data that they have received. So it says that we can also trace back the information that router have seen. Router can send additional information about seen packets to the destination. So ultimately, idea is to trace back the packets, to trace back the packets that the router have seen, so that we can trace back and refer that which was the IP from which the request was sent, so that we can directly reach to that attacker, that who is the source of this creating a botnet. And next one is attack detection and filtering, that is DDoS attack detection. It involves identifying DDoS attack packets. Second point is attack packet filtering. It involves classifying those packets and dropping them. It simply says that we have to filter the packets that is coming from an unknown resource or from an attacker. So there are some kind of strategies available through which we can filter the unwanted packets. That gives an impression that it's a kind of DDoS attack. So what is the conclusion behind what should be done to avoid the DDoS attack? DDoS attack is a kind of defense mechanism. So DDoS defense is possible through careful planning. Steps and process should be defined to monitor an unidentified activity that can enable you to quickly identify and respond to an attack. So there is no as such defined strategy or as such defined planning. It simply says that you have to employ some of the cyber officials that can continuously monitor your network and monitor your packets, so that any of the website is getting attacked by the DDoS can be determined as soon as possible. So a defense mechanism should be implemented that can prevent or at least minimize the DDoS attack. So the ultimate conclusion is that there should be proper planning, that you should have the proper employees that can monitor the data and can minimize the DDoS attacks. They should have the proper filtering mechanism, defense mechanism that can filter the DDoS attack. So that was about the DDoS attack tutorial. Keep watching videos on software testing help for more videos. Thank you very much.